All right, enough Brazil and Argentina. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Jules, there's no agreement yet,
Yeah.
but everyone all at once is reporting that a deal between free agent to be Trent Alexander-Arnold and Real Madrid is very close. How seriously should we take it? Would this be news if it was an international break?
Yeah. I think it's a massive news. This is maybe the beginning, or it's not completely done, but we know it's going to happen anyway. I think we've known for a while now. They won't have a problem to find an agreement with him on personal terms because he's a free agent. So this is really easy. So it will happen. I think it's big from a Liverpool point of view to lose somebody like him. Okay, the defending, we don't need to talk about the lack of defensive ability that he has. We know that, but certainly on the ball, certainly to replace him, to go and invest on somebody else because Bradley and Quansah or Gomez, whoever you want, is not enough to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold for a team like Liverpool. So they will have to go and get Frimpong and get Fernandes, I don't know, whoever they want in Portugal, in Germany, in France. They will need another right back. So yeah, it's massive.
I think if Bradley's fit, I think you give him a chance. I disagree with you on the fact that it's automatically you put your resources on that.
Well, I mean, you need another one anyway. You can't just have Bradley as
that's
right back.
fine. But I'm saying is you assess whether he can start and give you the minutes. But what I find interesting though is, I was always told that it's not guaranteed that all three are going to return, and of the three, the likeliest to leave was Trent.
Always, yeah.
And it's not a done deal. So I think there's always the possibility that stuff happens until the deal's actually done.
But it's not.
But I also think if you're Liverpool, I know people are flipping out and you're homegrown. I mean, guys, how about a little bit of trust in Michael Edwards? How about a little bit of trust in the club and the discipline that they have?
Trust in which way?
In the fact that there's a reason that Trent, I presume they put an offer to him and he says, I can get a better offer elsewhere. No, thank you. And they put a value on him, and they've been proven right so many times so far. And
I don't think money is the issue here. I think Trent would have gone even if he'd been offered the biggest contract in the history of Liverpool Football Club.
If that's the case, then come out and say it. That's all I'm going to say. More transfer fund, Jules. Hugo Ekitike linked to Arsenal in a £60 million pound deal, sort of a plan B if they can't get Alexander Isak.
Yeah, I don't know if Isak is the plan A or not. I can understand why Arsenal, like other clubs, are looking at Ekitike because one, it's a very good season on the back of already the second half of last season. That was very interesting. He was, I thought, outstanding, for example, against a very strong England under-21 team during the national break with France under-21. He's not far from the France A team either. And in terms of a number 9 that can do a lot of things because he's very, very gifted technically as well as being tall. Okay, a bit skinny and lanky, but still, he's got the pace. He's a good finisher. He's got everything. I think the move to PSG was too early for him. It didn't work out. But I think he's probably ready now to try again in a big club. So I can definitely see why he's on potentially Arsenal shortlist, but also others. I think United are quite keen. I think Chelsea have looked at him in the past too. There's a lot of clubs who are looking at him for him to get something better and bigger than Frankfurt. No offense.
I think it's a stupid money for Ekitike, but hey, that's just me. Jules, you like your techers. Southampton are reportedly looking for a fee of, quote, up to £100 million for Tyler Dibling, who only turned 19 last month. And by the way, I'm going to say this story, like the Trent Alexander story, is the result of what people in this country like to call a briefing, where somebody at the club does not have the cojones or so close to his agent to put his name to something and speak on the record. So he says something to everybody in the same time. And that's why everybody has the story.
Yeah, 100 million, I think, in their absolute dreams, obviously, but they know that. I don't think they expect anybody to bid 100 million. Or
they say up to 100 million.
Yeah.
You know what? When I go in for my pay raise, when I go talk to my boss, I say, I want to get paid up to what Stephen A. Smith. They're like, sure, Gab, we'll pay you up to what Stephen A. Smith gets. It'll be nothing like that.
No.
But it'll be up to.
Yeah, it could be up to.
Is he good or is he just a guy who dribbles?
No, I think he's good. Is he ready for a move away from Southampton? No. I mean, I didn't know about his story before, but you told me, Gabby, as we were preparing for the show, that he'd been at Chelsea before where he felt a little bit homesick and certainly wanted to go back home in Southampton. Is he ready now, 19, to do that same move? I'm not like a similar move, I guess, and leave Southampton to go to Manchester United, to go to City. I'm not sure. And I think, again, with just 1 year of more down than ups in the Premier League for him and for his team, I don't think right now would be the time to move.
Yeah, I think people need to understand players develop at different levels,
Yeah.
different paces. So you can say, oh, look, but he's 2 years older than Lamine Yamal. Yeah, maybe he is. But what you see from him is a lot of raw talent. You've seen almost nothing in terms of end product. And again, is it because Southampton are a bad team?
Yeah, I think so.
I actually
too.
think
I
in
think
a
he's-
season in the Championship where we presume, no disrespect, Saints fans, Southampton are going down. If they can keep him in the Championship where he can play,
Absolutely.
and Southampton can be a dominant team and attack
They
a lot
will be,
more,
surely, yeah.
we'll find out a lot more about him.
Yeah, I agree.
More Bowley, Jules.
Oh, come on. I love that.
Well, come on. It's like when we have those texts.
Yeah,
days. This is Bowley. By the
absolutely.
way, Todd, we're going to give you a hard time here. I will. But thank you for speaking.
Yeah,
Because you know
but
what?
He loves that Bloomberg conference. It was the conference, wasn't it?
No, I don't think. I think it was a separate
Oh, just
interview
interview.
with,
Oh, sorry.
with
I
David
thought it
Hellier,
was-
who's an excellent guy, Bloomberg. No, but all these people who never talk, right?
True,
And they're
true.
talking about you guys, Glazers. At least this guy talks, and then he gets judged, and
That's true.
at least he fronts up, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Others,
absolutely.
including other Chelsea owners, don't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bowley also says, if you look at the evolution of the team, it's young, players have long contracts, there's a core stability there. We're executing a plan that will have Chelsea where they need to be rather than where we need to be. Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you as positive as he is?
I mean, positive. I'm happy to be if you want, Todd or Toady. I can call you Toady. Yes, young for sure. That has good side of it and also more negative sides when you have a young team because they lack experience, and we've seen this many times that the youth in this team has hurt them. The long contracts, I'm not too keen, but hey, you do business the way you want. The core stability, I don't really understand. Where is the core stability? Who is the core stability?
Maybe people believe in the spine argument. So you go
Spine.
Colwell, Caicedo, Enzo, Cole Palmer, Nico. Maybe that's what he means.
I'm not sure.
Core stability.
Yeah.
Maybe he's been doing his crunches.
What about Robert Sanchez? Let's start the core about Robert.
No, and by the way, you
Either.
talk about stability. Let's see if you pass UEFA's financial fair play
as
first,
well,
by
of
the way,
course,
because they're not going to
stability.
recognize you selling hotels to other parts of your group.
Yeah, and let's see how many players leave and join again this squad because it's been quite a lot in the last 18 months or so. So, yeah, positive is probably not the word I would use, but I don't mind where they are right now. And I think there's still a lot of talent, albeit young talent, in this squad.
Jarell Quansah linked to a move to Newcastle for around 30 million plus bonuses. Jules, fair price?
I think this is a English-born player price, Premier League player price. Mind you, if Lloyd Kelly is worth 20 million euros.
Stop it with the Lloyd
Sorry,
Kelly. Stop
Juventus.
picking on Juventus.
Sorry, Juventus.
Lloyd Kelly, Alcaraz. By the way, I suspect, in fact, I know, it's the same dude who brought
Of
them
course.
over. It's the same guy, former agent of the year at the
Yeah.
Bravo Awards at Tuttosport. Nice one.
That's
there.
right.
Build a statue to him in Turin.
No, I don't think he's done enough. Yeah, okay, last season was not so bad. This season much more difficult for him. He's still young, so there's potential to develop. Of course, there is. But I think you overpay often. We saw with Elliot Anderson, for example, going to Forest. Okay, slightly different context, but still. So yeah, I'm not too keen. I think it's still a lot of money.
I do wonder, it is a numbers game. If Van Dijk goes,
Yeah.
Joe goes not getting any younger and coming off an injury, Trent going, all of a sudden, you got to move in and you got to bring in numerous
Yeah, true,
bodies.
true.
Otherwise, you have a back three of Bradley, Tsimikas, Konate's always injured,
Konate, yeah.
and Robbo.
Yeah.
You need more
Yeah,
bodies.
you need, that's for sure.